Hey everybody, thanks for coming back to visit for my part 2 of Return to Camp Crystal Lake experience, and we'll kick it off here with the next piece of memorabilia I got signed from the part 1 cast that was there. This is my 3D McFarlane poster, and the first person I had sign this was To Will, Jason Never Dies, Mr. Airy Lehman, Jason 1. He's telling me how cold the water was and how much he really enjoyed working with Tom Savini. It's pretty cool. He's a neat guy. Also, I got the sign up here is, once again, Adrienne King, which I kind of noticed that her signature actually varies a bit. Usually people's signatures are pretty consistent, but this signature is a little different looking from the one I have on my poster. Could be just because of the size, but I thought that was pretty interesting when I was comparing the two. And yeah, her husband really loved my Halloween tattoo on my arm. He couldn't stop looking at it and talking about it. On the side here we got Janine Taylor, whom I love, who played Marcy. First person to get a hatchet to the face. Got a lot of respect for her. You'll see me talking to her in the video I show you. Pretty much I was telling her that she still looks the same and just looks fantastic. Everybody really does. The other person I got on this was Ron Milkey, who played Officer Dorf in part 1. He rolled up on his motorcycle and didn't like Nettie from the start, and it was really cool because he was doing at the Q&A sessions, he was doing a couple of his classic lines that he told Nettie, like Canacucci's. Sounded exactly the same. Fantastic. I was asking Ron Milkey something I've been wondering forever, is if it is actually him driving away on the motorcycle, because it kind of looks like him but it kind of doesn't. And he looked up at me and he said that was absolutely not him, and he was kind of laughing about it because he said that the guy that was actually riding the motorcycle when he drove away was an actual motorcycle mounted cop, I guess, that was in the area, and which was interesting, he said, because it looked like he was about to crash the motorcycle. And if you go back to part 1, you actually watch that scene, he keeps like kind of wiggling the handlebars and it almost looks like he's going to go into the bushes. And so that was not Ron Milkey that was mounted on the bike when they were driving away, but was him for the close-up shots. I thought that was a pretty cool piece of information. Alright, the next item I want to show you has been something that I've been waiting to get signed for a long time, and it is my commemorative golden hatchet. And I had 2 people in mind for this only, Dana Kimmel and also Janine Taylor. I'll tell you why in a second, but you could see right there, written right on the gold head, To Will. See if you can see that. It can't be you, Dana Kimmel, who played Chris on part 3. She really liked this gold hatchet. She thought it was really neat. One of the cool things is when I was standing in line, Catherine Parks from part 3, who played Vera, was sitting right next to her, was looking at me while I was standing in line, and I saw her looking at me, but I was just kind of seeing what Dana was doing. And Catherine Parks came up right to me and said, "I really want to know what's in that box." Because I had it all covered up with this cover. So as soon as I showed it to her, she wanted to hold it and kind of wave it around a bit. And wouldn't you know, right after that, Miguel Nunez came up And he grabbed it off of her, and he was swinging it around. And he's testing his nail on the edge to see if it really was sharp. And it is. It's a substantial weapon. So she signed that, and the reason why I wanted her to sign this is because she is the first person to actually give Jason a hatchet to the head. And of course, as you know, that results in the classic crack that you see in the mask throughout the Friday the 13th movie series. So I definitely wanted her to be on this commemorative axe. And as I flip it around, the other person, as I said before, was Janine Taylor. Two-Will Janine Taylor, who played Marcy. And she really loved this too. She was holding it and kind of moving it around a bit, as you'll see on the video. The reason why I wanted her signature to be on this commemorative hatchet is because she was the very first person in the Friday the 13th franchise to receive a hatchet to the face. So she definitely deserves to be on this hatchet. And I can't wait to display this in a case. It is really a piece that I've been waiting to get signed for a while. And I actually posted this on the Monster Mania website into a contest because I was trying to win a couple tickets to the VIP party that they had at like 10:30 p.m. that night on Friday. But I did not win. But maybe next time. Okay, next up, I got my main man who starred in Phantasm, well actually every Phantasm movie, and was just a really, really great guy to meet, and still scary to this day, Mr. Angus Scrimm. It was a pleasure meeting this guy. Definitely had the longest line, probably out of everybody at the convention. Was really cool because when you went up to get his autograph, you were allowed to sit down just right next to him and like have a conversation with him. It was really neat. He really cares a lot about the fans, and he really takes care of you. Like, I really enjoyed talking to him. See, he signed here too, Will. Boy, Angus Scrimm. That is just, he still terrifies me to this day. I was telling him how much he terrified me as a kid. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But here's the other item I got signed. My Angus Scrimm Cult Classics Phantasm figure, which I absolutely had to have when I saw this on eBay. It's just perfect. It has the sphere, Angus, and at the bottom, I don't know if you could actually see, they actually took his feet off, and his feet are actually supplied in there somewhere, like right on the side. I think that's them right there, because he really is tall, even for the package. Thus named the Tall Man. That they had to take his feet off and pack him that way. There's one of those dwarves, one of the minions. And he again signed this to Will, Boy, Angus Scrimm. I told him when I first sat down with him that he was the first person ever to frighten the hell out of me as a kid. I don't even think I knew who Jason was when I was 5 years old yet, but I knew who Angus Scrimm was. And the Tall Man freaked me out. And when he was asking me what my name was, and I told him I'd make it out too, Will, he put down his pen, and he looked at me, and he's like, oh, well, I'm going to tell you a little story about my past. I had an Uncle Will, he was saying. And I think he said it was one of his favorite uncles, I think. And the reason being is because every time his uncle would come over, he'd have a lot of ladies on his arms, because apparently his uncle was a real ladies' man. And I guess a young kid growing up then, young Angus, probably got an eye full. And probably enjoy the ladies himself as well, I'm sure. But yeah, he had an Uncle Will, believe it or not. And in closing there, before I left him, I said to him, you know, what's just with that one word, just that one boy word, sent chills down my spine, and it really burnt into my memory for many, many years, and I never forgot it. Right after I said that, he looked at me, and he gave me the tall man eyes, and he said, he gave me a personal boy. Oh, I'll tell you what, I could have died right there. The guy still sends tingles down my spine, still frightens the hell out of me at 30 years old. I couldn't believe it. Angus, love you, man. Awesome guy. Okay, some of the next things I want to show you are some of the pickups now that I got at the convention while there. And one of the first ones I want to show you is some really great artwork that I picked up. And the artist's name is Laurie Kuchta. He is fantastic, man. I saw some of his work and I couldn't believe what he did. Let me show you some of the prints I got. Just look at that. That's just, I love it. You could guarantee that next convention I'll be getting some of these signed by people. Just look at that. Jason and his mom's head right there. He does all his work with oil paints. I mean, that's not airbrush or anything. And just look at the detail. Unbelievable. I do some oil painting myself, but it's mostly like landscapes and sceneries, but nothing like this with oils. This was one I picked up. And next to it, I've also picked up a print of Angus Scrimm with the flying spheres next to him. The detail on that is also incredible. Yeah, I just came across this guy. He was selling his artwork. He had his original pieces there too, that were actually on stretch canvas, I believe. But Laurie apparently runs a school, or actually, I think he's more of like a professor at a art school, and he teaches how to do this. Or if not this, teaches how to just paint in general. But just look at the detail of some of these. Here's my third one. Freddy Krueger. Fantastic. I mean, some of the detail, I guess I thought you could only really get with airbrush. But not this guy. Unbelievable. And every print that you get from him, he always hand signs it in the corner before he gives it to you. And to make it even a better deal, he actually frames it for you too. See, it's already in a frame. Isn't that cool? I mean, a lot of artists that I've met there, usually they just sell the prints, or if they do sell the frame with the print, it's usually a lot of money. But each one of these are framed, and they're only 15 bucks each. I think it was a deal for 3 for $40. Could not pass that up. You could guarantee I'll be taking some of these prints to future conventions, especially if Angus Scrimm is there. You are going to see his signature on this print. Absolutely unbelievable.